I'm live. Cool. Okay. So, hi guys. I am live. It's always a weird thing, and I'm always going to say this at the beginning of everything. It's always a weird. Am I live? Not live? Don't know. Anyway, and then of course nobody's joined in just yet. So, welcome everyone. It is Friday, the 4th of November. I don't think there's any real trading really to be done in the few days before Christmas, and certainly not between Christmas and New Year's, and then probably not until about the 5th of January. So there's quite so there's not, so now it's really just about that acceleration towards Christmas. Okay, now let's just check something here. We should be live. Everything should be good. I was going to go from 12:15, so I'm actually early. Okay, so I don't want to end the stream. But what did I think? I've actually started like way earlier. Yep. I'm gonna see what happens here. Back on. I really cocked this up. Sorry, guys. Cool. There we go. Bit of a lag. How long is the lag? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Jeez. Okay. Cool. So let me just run through all of the markets, see what's going on, and let's just hide all this stuff here. Okay. So as we speak, dollar is strong. Let's check out the Forex stuff. Let's keep an eye on that. And then let's have a look at DXY. Let's get us in. Just go. Okay. There's our dollar index. Strong level of resistance. Strong level of resistance. So we're going to see how this reacts as well. There we go. So we're going to have a series of lower highs. If we break this low, that's relatively significant. Okay, but so far, everything is looking pretty standard. Hi guys, Usman, hello, Daniel. Daniel, I feel like we haven't spoken in ages. Hello. Can I check that you can hear me? Is the audio good? Because I've got a new camera and it's a bit funny, so it does mess with things a bit. So please just let me know if you can hear me. And I really need to find a way to reduce the lag. There's a solid 5 seconds between when I'm talking and when it's coming through on the side. And I know there's a way to bring it down to like 1 second. You can't bring it down to 0, but there is a way to bring it down to like 1 second. So, cool. Let's have a look here. Okay, good. Thanks, Usman. It's just such a lag. So we've got an uptrend on the 1 hour. Uptrend on the 1 hour. We have a downtrend on the 4 hour. And we have, technically, if we turn around here, we still have an uptrend on the daily, but it's not a strong one. I mean, it's a, you know what it is? This is what Al Brooks would call a channel. So he, you know, that would be your channel, something like that. Do it like that. Is your channel. So let's see if it stays within the channel. But if it does, then you know where the next kind of upper limit is up here, probably around 102, if it's going to do that. So I'm only mentioning this because I still stand by, certainly when I look at equities and I look at commodities like gold, they look bullish. They really do. And so I'm waiting for currencies to catch up. But if we go have a quick look at gold, you've got almost bullish divergence here. We've got a lower low. That looks good. You've definitely got it here. And we've got a double bottom or a triple bottom, whichever way you want to put it. Nice bullish reaction here. So the question is, do we break this high here? It's really important. If we break this high, then we are heading up into, that's what I want to know. So I'm going to draw it in. So this is what I'm looking for here, is move up to here or here, or a move up there, maybe something like this, one of those two things. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So it's going to be one of those two things, either rejection, head down, and we'll see. Okay, let's just adjust these things a little bit. What did I lose? That's fine. Cool. And then we have, great. So that's kind of what I'm looking for gold. What does silver say? Silver, look at this. In isolation, if you knew nothing else, you have to concede that looks relatively bullish. We've got higher lows, series of high lows. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to count that, 5. We've got a series of high lows. This looks really nice and bullish. This is nice and bullish if we've got to break through this. We have an uptrend at the moment. This is trending higher. It's now above 0. All these things are, the question is it more bullish than bearish? The answer is yes, it's more bullish than bearish. But there's definitely a patch that has to get through. So for me, silver should, look, we're in an area right here where it could encounter a little bit of resistance. Sure. So we could have a wick by the end of day like that. Changes the story. But for now, it looks really good. It's good chance. Close above that, we're on our way. And that implies silver, gold could potentially follow suit as well. Look at those steady moves here, pretty chilled. So for those of you who know the Trade with Precision background, or you know ETX or OvalX, and you know about the trend flow kind of strategy, you know, one of the things that's changed for me in the last 2 years is that, so the rule was that you'd wait for a pullback and look for a setup. And if it pulled back past that, back down to like this low here, then it would be, then the trade would be invalidated. And that's one thing that's changed for me outside of TWP style. You can get double bottoms. So you can get, it's going to take me a while to draw it, but you can get, or can I draw multiple ones here? I can draw multiple ones. So you can easily get a double bottom move within an uptrend. So you can get something like this, and that's a double bottom. Oops. There we go. Sorry. So you can get double bottoms within an uptrend. Double bottoms, double bottoms. You can get double tops within a downtrend, and so on. So that is a deviation from what I originally was covering before, where I'm looking for this type of structure. But the logic, it's a strategy. You're saying, if I see that cyclical behavior, I'm going to take advantage of the cyclical behavior. And a double top or a double bottom is a different type of approach, but I'm just saying it's just as valid. Anyway, so just looking at that, you can see price sort of came back here. There was a pullback here, went up, then came back down to this area, tested it and carried on. It's equally valid. And it's, in the beginning, it's impossible for your brain to absorb 10 different strategies because it's still trying to learn how to analyze and, you know, pick a time frame and build a routine and learn how to draw support resistance levels and read MACD and all these different, you're trying to learn everything all at once. And it's really over time, once everything has become muscle memory, that you can now add a different idea. So this is important, a new idea into the mix. And your brain is capable of absorbing it into the existing mix without disturbing everything else that you already know. So now if you get the idea that that's an approach, then suddenly you're saying, okay, well, a double bottom within a trend is actually a really good sign. A double bottom at the end of a downtrend, a double bottom is a valid setup, but a double bottom within an uptrend is a really strong setup because basically it's a double bottom within a prevailing trend. Anyway, your brain has to be able to absorb that idea in without it bumping something else that you're trying to learn out the way. Okay, so let's just run through these right now. Euro dollar currently pulling back into this area. We've got 12 minutes. What do we expect to happen? So let's look at the trend, non-farm payroll. So we're not trading it, we're just analyzing it because it's going to swing wildly anyway. We look at where we are here. The problem isn't always what the number is, it's the difference between what is forecast and what is the actual. So they're forecasting a lower number here. I would say it's possible we're going to be bang on or higher. So the reason I say that is more based on, not on any fundamental analysis, but based on, I guess, a little bit of faith that the US jobs market, first of all, they have been, over the last, 6-7 months, they've been consistently underestimating the jobs numbers. They've always been better than expected, with the exception of a couple. And so, okay, here it's lower, but there has been, a lot of these has generally been higher. So it's interesting to me. I want to see what happens here. We had a lower jobs number, was that in September? So let's see what happens with October. And we'll see what happens with that. I'm just curious. I want to see what happens with it, what the expectation is. Unemployment rate, let's have a look at that quickly. That's not so bad in the US. It's gone down, still going down overall. It's really not bad. There's a lot of propaganda that talks about, oh no, Biden's doing a terrible job, but the numbers aren't supporting that. There's no historic crime wave in the US. I mean, it's just a lot of bollocks. There's no real immigration problem. It's bizarre that there's a news channel that's dedicated to literally just slamming one political party. It's absolutely bizarre. That's all they do is lie and make up stuff every day. It just blows my mind. So the point is, I don't expect the numbers to be terrible, but I'd be surprised, like, if they are. So unemployment is really the one to watch. Unemployment is because that's the one that hints at the recession. But overall, if you look at it, some of the lowest unemployments, fastest recovery in history, and the lowest unemployment in the last, just in terms of presidencies, it's just been phenomenal. So the administration is doing really well. And they're still doing things like the student loan forgiveness, debt loan forgiveness, all these different things. And they're trying to make sure they tax the rich. It's a really good way to balance the books because you can't just keep not having untaxed rich people. You can't have it. Look at them. They go crazy. It's like they're drinking. When the Romans lost everything at the end, they were drinking from like lead stuff and they just became untethered from reality. And right now, billionaires are untethered from reality. It's bizarre. This is more like a philosophical musing. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar index. So the dollar index is currently producing a bearish daily candle within this area of resistance. And it's a relatively strong area. But we've had such a long run for such a long time. And now, obviously we know the rates are we know we're going to get continued rate hikes. And other countries are hiking rates as well. So I think that the freedom of that dollar just running rampant, it's weird to me that would just be able to keep going. I'm not saying it won't keep pushing higher, but I can't believe that it's now just like running wild. I think it has to potentially kind of turn on. Higher highs. So I'm reading the question. So if you have a bullish daily chart, higher highs, highly low, and then a pullback, would the 4 hour not be in a lower? Not necessarily. It could be the 1 hour. The 4 hour can sometimes be the case, but yeah, usually the 1 hour in that case. If you go here to the 240, we might have that, but no, we just have a pullback and it's currently producing a bit of a bullish candle. Whereas you were right, the 60 minutes would be that way. Sometimes the daily has to go down quite a way, like 2 or 3 days before the 4 hour is in a downtrend. 1 day is not really enough, but it's a good question, yeah. Do you wait till the 4 hour recovers a bit before you enter, or you wait till it's a certain level on the 4? I tend to there's always that point of, is the market doing a correction or is it changing in trend? So it's more of a, I guess, a distance and a location and that, and yeah, and a bit of what's happening on the lower time frame. So if I wanted to know, yeah, so I think if you've got also there's like the 618 retracement. So I'm trying to make sure I answer this correctly. But in theory, or in practice, when you go further than a 618, then the likelihood of price continuing to trend drops significantly. Whether it's, and so that's on a daily retracement as well. So it doesn't even matter what the 4 hours doing. It's just how far it's pulled back. So it's a combination of how far it's pulled back, what the trends are saying. Yeah, it's a tricky thing for me to be able to give you a crisp, clear answer on that. I wish I could. Yeah, likely Fox News. Just most bizarre thing has happened in the last like 10 years that they've politicized things. Like wearing a mask was never disputed as a protection against science. Now everyone's like, yeah, well, we don't know if it works. Like, it's just bizarre to me. And you know, it's all started by one person. Did you know that something insane, like 30% of all the misinformation about COVID came from one individual? All of it on the net was confirmed by Google to come from one person. So like, it's just madness, really. Do I think Kiwi dollar will continue to fall and drop off the weekly chart? Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that thing because we've got 7 minutes. Let's have a look here. So Kiwi dollar. This is looking okay. In fact, to me, Kiwi dollar is looking strong, like stronger than it should. It's been weak, but now it's looking quite strong. There's a little bit of a level here we're in. Look at that. A little bit of a level there. We are in an uptrend. There's some depletion here. So you do want to pay attention to that, but which actually means there's a little bit of a, like an even smaller level in like this area here. There's a bit of a level just like there. Interesting that it shows, do it on the daily. There we go. So that's kind of where it's struggling a bit to get through that, but we're right there now. But it looks strong. To me, this looks strong. And there's definite bullish divergence. If you look at this, you kind of got that lower low, higher lows here. We are looking all right. So we should be looking okay. And then when you look at the other Kiwi pairs, Kiwi CAD is pushing up quite nicely. Kiwi Swissy is trickling up quite nicely. And then Kiwi Yen is even holding here within this area. Oh, wow. I don't even know when I did that. I've not been spending so much time on ProRealTime lately. I've been just doing stuff in MT4. And I love ProRealTime, but I've been kind of working on one time frame on a single chart for quite a while now. And so I think I've just, not that I don't love ProRealTime, I do, but I've just been kind of, habits has forced me onto MT4 a lot more. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Yeah, good. Okay, where we at now? So, yeah, so it's interesting to me. Like, forget about it. I mean, like the politics and everything aside, I'm looking at everything through a technical lens and then trying to imagine if the charts are looking like this, what could happen? What could rationalize why the market turns around, why it does? And so my rationalization at the moment is that the US have upped the interest rates, so there'll be a bit of a lag before the market calms down a bit. Then you'll have other markets that will up their interest rates around, which should also strengthen their currencies, which should start to boost the moves. It doesn't always, it's not a guarantee, but in the past, higher interest rates often make a currency more attractive, which means that money starts to flow into that economy, which means that you start to get a stronger currency. It's more in demand, which means it strengthens. That's kind of the logic behind it. So that's kind of why I think, okay, then other currencies might strengthen. And what I'm seeing at the moment is Kiwi dollar is looking pretty strong. Let's go have a look at it from here. So if we go look Kiwi dollar here on a monthly perspective, we're sitting at this major level, very overextended. We are due for a retracement on the monthly time frame. Yes, the weekly is in a downtrend, so absolutely. So that's why I say today or over the next couple of weeks, we could see a continuation down, but we're in a really good spot. We had a really nice bullish candle here. We've produced a swing low here. So usually in most situations, 60% of the time, we would see this start to trade upwards. Then, and look at this beautiful, look at that break of resistance, come back, test it, produce support. You know, that looks ready to go. Then you compare that to what does sterling look like? Sterling's getting a bit of a knockdown. Sterling's definitely getting a bit of a knockdown. 1.16. That looks like a continuation. That looks like a bearish continuation setup there. But we also know that the Bank of England is trying to fiddle things to make sure that that changes. So we'll see. Euro dollar, that weekly, it's very, like this is interesting to me. We have been in this area for how long? Just this area, just there for quite a while. Yeah, okay. So we've been there since August, give or take. Just in that area, swimming around. We have breached this trend line, but that doesn't mean anything yet. We need a high low. So I really want to see us go back up from there. We're back below the 50 period moving average, so we're more bearish again. Honestly, we could have it go either way today, but relatively speaking, the Aussie dollar looks weak. If you just look at it here, it's hardly moved. Comes back up, immediately hits depletion. But when you look at Kiwi dollar, it started to push up a little bit. We'll see. We have to see how it closes. Dollar yen is, dollar yen is ridiculous. That really needs to turn around. Dollar Swissy, battling where it is. Some bearish divergence here on the daily at an equal high. So all of these are signs, but I'm not seeing price action follow through. I'm seeing the momentum is shifting, but no real, it's almost like it's slowing down and that's all. We haven't seen a reversal and a pickup of speed in the other direction. So no, this is ProRealTime up here. And it's, yeah, I love it because I used to use eSignal back in the day, and eSignal is a paid for charting package. You get a few. You get TradeStation, eSignal, I've forgotten what it's called now. It's 3 letters. There's a whole lot of them. And this is like the latest version of it. I quite like it. Yeah, happy weekend to you too, Michael. We've got a bit of sun today. It's getting colder. We went last week, a week ago, it's 20 degrees, which is also obviously weird. And then now it is. Let's go through and have a look at euro dollar. Sorry, guys. Let's have a look at this. There we go. Are the numbers out? No, let me just do this quickly. And then I'm going to tear this off, bring that up. I want to see both at the same time. Just want to see what happens here with the, so let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see what's going on with, there we go. Okay, so stronger US dollar. Yeah, wow. Stronger US dollar. Okay, but remember it swings, hey? So let's see what happens. So we've got here, stronger dollar. Let's see what happens on the daily. No, 240. No, man. What are you doing here? Sorry, let me go do this. What's going on here? No. There we go. I was trying to see this because that looks like a potential bullish setup. Let's go back to the charts here. Get some perspective. See what happens with sterling. Sterling also looking quite bearish. Dollar yen pushed up. Dollar Swissy is going to have pushed through, no doubt. Do I think Bitcoin will eventually hit 10,000 at some point in the future? Let me have a look when I can. Let me have a look and see. So dollar yen, dollar CAD. Dollar CAD has been pushing and pushing and pushing. Euro Swissy was on my list. So what's happened with Euro Swissy? There's a lag. I could feel everything is just slowing down because around the world, all of a sudden this is probably one of those fixed periods where bandwidth around the world just gets choked up because of that. Gold. So we've got a strong US dollar. We would have seen gold take a hit lower. Okay, but it doesn't mean anything until we see the day close. I promise you, I have seen one move, and then by the end of the day, I've gone, okay, that's it. And then I've come back at the end of the day, and like it's completely reversed and gone the other way. What's happening with the Dow? Not much. Let's go back to this one here quickly. Yeah, so that's still pushing up. Euro dollar, 60 minutes. So let's see what's happening over the last hour. Let's look at a couple of these. Dollar yen, bullish. Let's look at the Dow, bearish. So underneath that 50 period moving average. So that's just worthwhile. It's not crucial, but it's a nice little distinction, is to see prices now underneath that 50 period moving average, which is interesting. We've got the S&P is already under that anyway. The NASDAQ, look at this current rejection of those lows. What do you want to bet? There's bullish divergence if we get this. Look at this. Boom. See the immediate MACD is trending higher, RSI is trending higher. You can see it. You can see when you go from a big drop to a low, smaller drop, and then like a rejection candle. That's usually, but we need this to close as a rejection candle. Still stuck on PLT version 10.3. It's unbelievable, Michael. IG have fallen under great criticism for that. I'm on 12 beta, but I'm going straight from ProRealTime. I'm not using the one with IG for now. So I'm going straight from that. And the problem is you also can't save your settings and move it to your IG index one. You have to, like, it's separate, which is annoying. Always wonder why we look at the Kiwi as a currency, seeing that other economies like Peru or Portugal or Kazakhstan or whatever have near the same GDP and sometimes more commodities. I can't speak with the accreditations or any. I'm not qualified to do it, but I think it could be to do with it being part of the Commonwealth. So Canada is part of the Commonwealth, Australia is part of the Commonwealth, and so maybe they just have that credibility. And also they go back to the 70s and 60s where this is kind of where it originated from, and maybe back then Peru or Kazakhstan didn't have the GDP then. So it kind of like it's old-fashioned. FTSE. Let's have a look at the FTSE. Okay, so this has actually been holding up. This is a 1 hour. Look at that. It's been pushing strong today. The DAX has come back in. That's looking good. Nikkei just quickly looking good. We've got the Hong Kong Hang Seng and the China 50 as well have been struggling a bit. Let's look at oil. Oil's doing okay. Okay, so you wanted me to, like, where was it? SPY, Bitcoin. Do I think that Bitcoin will hit 10,000? I can't answer that yet because I feel like we are at a turning point. We might be going into a sideways market or we might be turning around. If I felt that we were nowhere near the bottom, then I would say yes, 10,000 is a valid, realistic kind of approach. So if we look at it here, but there's just not enough. You know, I guess if it breaks below this, if you see this as a consolidation, if you see that as a consolidation and we break out of it, then yeah, then I suppose 10 grand is not 10,000 is not that far away. But right now there's not enough to support that, and we're still, look at how this is still generally climbing bullishly. It's now above zero. Little thing, but when MACD is above zero, it's more bullish than bearish. It's not crucial, it's just an additional little tick in the box. And right now it's more bullish than bearish. So there's no evidence right now to show that it is looking to hit low. Ask me again every week. Ask me again every week. I don't think the NFP will be as important as average earnings and labor participation. Yeah. So remember, guys, that your technical analysis, look at that shift. Look at that swing around. Look at that. Interesting, because now the channel is holding. Interesting. This is what's cool. That's why I did a bit of analysis beforehand, because you want to, as an exercise, as a purely academic exercise, you want to do an analysis of the chart, write down what does the chart look like it should do based off the daily 4-hour thing, and then have the market stuff come out, and then have a look back at the end of the day. But this is and by the way, we're not out of the woods yet. This could swing the other way completely. So this is why trading non-farm payroll is madness, I think. I think we could end up right near the bottom again. I think that right now there are maybe systems or people trading the swings that create the swings, and so they'll push it down one way, then they'll push it back, and not like they're in control. They're just, I think it's maybe a known thing. like Fridays. NFP, it just swings both ways, so you could trade it multiple ways. Anyway, so let's see what happens with this. So now we look, we've got sterling is looking nice and strong. Dollar yen back down again. What's happening with the euro yen pairs? They're looking bullish now. Oh, that's because of the euro. Pound yen looking bullish. Kiwi should be looking strong. There we go. We've got euro Swissy looking bullish now. We've got gold bullish, looking good. Remember, we wanted to go through that pattern. Crude oil is going to be bullish, no doubt about it. That'll be looking bullish. Anyway, overall, it's more bullish. Let's look at the Dow. Not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Wow. DAX, wow. Really not doing much, are they? Is it because it's just because the US market has just opened? Bitcoin? Look at Bitcoin. Nice and bullish there. Excuse me. Ethereum, bullish. Any other questions, guys? I'm just, look at that. Really strong. Amazing. Amazing. These swings are wild. Look at that here. So that's Bitcoin. Let's go back up here. DXY. Wild swings. Wild swings. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what happens. You're like, you think, okay, this is the setup. And then when the news comes out, you go, oh, see, I was right. And then 10 minutes later or 5 minutes later, it's going the other way entirely. Just crazy. Just crazy. Usman, do you think US coffee will continue to fall? It was looking nice and bearish. Yeah, that's looking pretty weak. Eh? Broken level, support resistance where it is now. It's looking more like its next level down is 151. Does look like that, hey? I mean, I do think it's a bit overextended. I think I'd like to see a bit of a turnaround, but that looks pretty bearish. Looks like oil might run up again, yeah. So let's go and have a look at those. Yeah, it's still looking bullish. Look at that, we've broken that high. So now we've got a higher low, higher high, bullish uptrending MACD. Interesting. So BP and Exxon, they'll do okay. How's Apple doing on this stuff? Whew. Apple's tanking. Amazon, sure. Let's go back to the normal watch list, euro dollar. Yeah, it's just swinging wildly. I just can't tell. London sugar. Oh, sugar number 11. I can't see. Looking good, but usually very volatile in the US session. Yeah, I think if oil gets above 97, I think 100 is a reasonable psychological target as well. I'm curious about euro dollar because I want to see if this channel holds. So when I talk about like channels and trend lines, I mean, it's more in the very, very, very traditional sense of those patterns. It's interesting. I was going through L. Brooks, like I tried to allocate like an hour a day to just recapping and watching stuff. I was going through L. Brooks' stuff. And I still stand by my assessment that it's drier than Gandhi's flip-flop. I mean, it's just terrible. It's very hard to work your way through it. But And what he does is he just says the same stuff in a different language. He's like, well, trend lines don't work, or this doesn't work. But then he'll talk about high lows, high highs, and bullish candlesticks. So his way of interpreting it is a variation on the same idea as opposed to a different idea. And he'll talk about, and he's got a point. He's like, price is almost always in a channel. It's either channeling up or down or sideways, but it's in a channel. So that means that, it's more bullish than bearish. So he would say this is a channel. And he would say that it's more bullish than anything else. And he says in a channel, you should be buying more than you should be selling in an up channel. It's just interesting to see that. Yeah. So I was doing his video course. And it's okay. It's not bad. It's just a lot to go through. It takes a lot of, you better have a couple of Red Bulls and a few other things to work your way through. It takes energy. Look at this. Yeah, so not much there. Let's go and have a look at the numbers. So, okay, unemployment is still low. Okay, so very quickly, without trying to be, I'm not trying to be political. I'm just talking about this administration are doing everything they can to make sure that if they can't give people more jobs, then they can reduce their debt. So if they can reduce student loan debt in the US is insane. People are settled with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt into their 40s. I mean, they just can't pay off their student loans. It's crazy. That's one of the worst in the world. And that has always been the case, and they need to change that. So forgiving that student loan debt will actually relieve people under pressure. I don't know about you guys, but our energy bills in the UK are insane. We've gone from £50 a month to £300 or something. And I mean, that's madness. So if you live in a house with lots of people or you're working from home now, those costs have gone up. Your paycheck hasn't necessarily increased, but the costs have gone up. And the US has got incredible pay, their salaries for jobs are phenomenal. I would get paid for what I do for my stuff. I get paid double in the US than I get paid here. They just can, get paid really, really well. So US jobs are good. There's a whole lot of other stuff that looks really good. And the big part of success is taxing the rich. It sounds very odd, but if you can just tax people, the rich, a reasonable amount, you can support the whole, because they live off the same infrastructure. Their businesses use the same roads, they use the same shipping, they use the same thing, and they're not paying taxes on that. We are. So if you get the rich to pay for that, their contribution to the infrastructure makes all the difference. Anyway, basic stuff, but very cool. And this comes from Ray Dalio. This is not even an opinion. This is just basic economics. And they want to make you think that if you want to make the rich pay their fair share of taxes, you're being political. You're not. You're being economical. That's the sense of it. RSI on West Texas. Let's go back to that. So RSI on West Texas. My West Texas, is it real time? I forget. I've got light crude real time. I don't have West Texas real time. Because obviously you pay for the different things. Yes. What have we got for West Texas? US oil. Let's just do this one here. So we'll do WTI. Let's do futures. See what we got there. Oil futures. No. Into West Texas. Where's my commodities? There we go. What's so hot about that? Yeah, look at that. Look how nice and bullish that is. Whoosh. That's great. That's great. Really nice, guys. And it's well above the 50-period moving average. So when I say 50-period moving average, what I mean is if it's below the 50-period moving average, it's generally bearish. Once it shifts above the 50-period moving average, it's generally bullish. You can see here, look at this bullish divergence. So look at how long the MACD's been trending higher and the RSI, and we've shifted into an uptrend now. We're almost certainly going to continue. So if this is a daily uptrend, it's probably a monthly bullish candle. Look at that. So use your beautiful pullback into the moving averages, green candle here. We break the high. We're working our way back up to 113. So I would say, in answer to your question, Dan, I would say the likelihood of us going back up to 100 now is very, very high, very high. I'll confirm it when I see how the day closes, but it looks like that's where we're going. Yeah, the thing with RSI, so RSI here, RSI, I mean, I'm fine with that. I would say that's bullish. This is all fine. So RSI, if it's near 50, it can break above. Yep, which means it's more bullish than bearish. Amazing that the markets are still up, seeing Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, the favorite and big stocks starting to turn around. You know, it's interesting. I was thinking, because again, sometimes I have to guesstimate stuff. You can logically infer, like deduce stuff. But I was thinking tech stocks have been NASDAQ has been one of the best performing indices over the last like 5 years. It's just like insane. And therefore, possibly what's happening now is it's coming back in line with that. So if we use Tesla as an example, okay, so Warren Buffett always said this. He said there were two things that can impact a stock's price. One is the actual value of the company itself. So if no one's looking at the stock price and everyone's just looking at the company, what's its profit and losses, overheads, assets and liabilities, and then look at that and go, wow, this company is performing really well. And then the second one is the public's perception of the value of that brand. So look at this, December 2019, no one gave a crap about Tesla. And we were talking about Tesla all the way through and no one gave a crap about it. January 2020, boom. 3 months before COVID. That's right, March 2020, right? And it took off. And everyone now is like, oh no, it was years that Tesla's been like strong. No. It's been 2 years that, well, now we're going into 3 years, but 2.5 years that Tesla has come from nowhere into the limelight. And everybody's treating, Elon Musk like he's God. And honestly, he's halfway back from his high ever. So I would be very cautious about this. I have Tesla stock, but I would be very cautious. I would say we still have possibly what we're seeing here is we're just seeing a correction of the valuation. So imagine maybe, hypothetically, instead of a bubble bursting per se, maybe it's focused on tech stocks. So we've had a tech company overvaluation, PayPal, Netflix, all these different things. Tesla as well, and now we're seeing a bit of a correction, and actually cryptos fall within that. Cryptos are a tech stock in a way. They're a commodity, they're a digital commodity, but they are tech. And so maybe what's happening is they were overvalued and now they're coming back down in line, because we're finding other areas where that isn't necessarily the case. So we're seeing the biggest correction is happening usually in technology stuff, with the exception of, say, Apple. Apple's on fire, man. You can't stop them. I mean, look at this though. It's interesting to see what's happening here, because this could be a double bottom, and we'll see. But like ARC pushing lower, look at that. I mean, look at some of the correction on these. Like Meta is brilliant, because what I say is, look at it. They should be shitting bricks, excuse my language, really. They've gone back to 2015, possibly earlier. This is ridiculous. As a return to shareholders, that is dire. And often when you see what's printed out on the charts, it's not usually an immediate reaction. What you're seeing here is the reaction of the last 6 months of whatever they've been doing for the last 6 months has finally shown up in the quarterly reports and the results and the behavior, and shareholders have started to like. So if you go back to kind of what were they doing in this area that caused them to break through that level and start hitting lower, that's what I want to know. It's like, it's really shockingly bad. And actually the thing is, how many of you are using Facebook as much as you used to? Because we are the product, but we're not we're not using it as much anymore. So it's interesting. I'd love to have an open discussion about this stuff as well. Is that bottom looking like a cup and handle? Which one for Meta on the daily? Not sure. On all the other big boys start making electrical cars, I think Tesla will struggle. Look, I used to like Musk. I was a big fan. I was a massive fan until I started seeing some of his weird things. I feel like he's gone a bit crazy. But I still like Tesla cars. I think they're great. I like the trucks. I love the, there's a lot of innovation there. The tiles that you can, roof tiles that you can put up. I think those are all fantastic. So yeah, it's I'm curious. I want to see where it goes, because they have not more than just the cars. They have so many other products on the way, and they have government contracts. They'll be supplying stuff, so they might be okay. They might be okay. Yeah, but you're right, guys. If you don't know about Polestar 3 is considered by most people who rate cars and who own Teslas. Polestar 3 is like, or Polestar is way above Tesla. But Tesla is a package deal for all the other things you get. It's like Apple, I guess. It's a comprehensive deal. And Tesla's got some stuff in its future, but you're right, there'll be more competition. Polestar's amazing. Jags in the UK are also turning out really well. Volvo are doing some incredible stuff. So this, and I went last week. I'm going to wrap up. Sorry guys, 5 more minutes and we'll wrap up. But I was in Ireland 2 weeks ago and I drove a ForexVox. I haven't driven one in years. And the onboard computer stuff was as good as the Audi stuff that I have in my one. I was like, it's, if not better, it was maybe better. I was like, so I think you're right. I think there's a lot of room for competition there as well. Yeah. Questions, the Musk cult. Yeah. Metaverse. WTI daily. Okay, yeah, I'm not. Cup and handle. So do you mean like this type of a setup? I'm trying to, oh, or did you mean that? Trying to see where that is. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, sorry. Or did you mean this kind of thing maybe? Yeah, it's just that gap down is a bit of a concern for me. Do I think dollar CAD will continue to rise and go up off the weekly chart? Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD's a tricky one because the dollar, you need a stronger dollar to help it. And look at this level, look at where it is. It's at a significant resistance level, 1.4. I would say in the medium term, my expectation is it's going to come down more, probably back down into this area, maybe back down towards these old highs, 1.3, 1.330, 1.32 for the shorter term, 1 or 2 weeks till it comes down. Yeah, look at that. And we've got what it looks like a head and shoulders. Head and shoulders kind of forming here as well. So the idea is supposed to be, also by the way, head and shoulders, double bottoms, double tops, guys. Those are phenomenal. They have anywhere from 65 up to something like 82% chance of success, depending on which one you're doing, head and shoulders or whatever. So don't ever dismiss those basic patterns. They work so well. Anyway, so yeah, if we break this neckline here, I'd expect it to head down. Same kind of distance. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, I know some people, I don't want to keep you, I don't want you to be bored, so we'll have a look at this one. I'm interested in a cup pattern on the daily chart. Sorry, I got that. I wasn't seeing it. I'm not seeing it, sorry. I apologize. That's it. Guys, look, I don't want to keep you forever, but I do like the chat as well. What I'd like to do at some point is actually a webinar, to start doing some webinars, and then we can have like or a Zoom thing where people can actually talk and chat. So it's more of a less of a streaming thing. The cool thing about the streaming thing is then it's stored automatically into the library, but I can do the same thing the other way around. So let's have a look at what's going on. The last look at this. We've got, looks as though it's a bullish finish on euro dollar. It looks like it's bullish on GBP so far. Day's not over yet. Honestly, you're only going to get some clarity about 2 o'clock. So you still need about another 1 or 2 hours before you really know what's happening. But look at that. It's looking pretty strong. Kiwi dollar as well is pushing through that level. That's good. So that is looking quite nice. Dollar yen is going to start breaking lower, but we'll see. Gold. So gold is pushing through that level. That looks good. Some nice pushes through the level. And Brent is pushing higher, which means West Texas is also going to be pushing higher. And then the Dow, the indices, they're looking okay. Not looking terrible. It really is their last kind of chance where they are. So we need to see where it is. So on Sunday, I'll do an update on this. I want to see where they close. And then we can reassess it. So the reason here, for example, look at this. It is acceptable for us. Bullish candle, nice double bottom. There's no bullish divergence. There's no bullish divergence, which is not a great sign. But we've basically double bottomed here, and we can come down halfway and then carry on up from here. So this is why where we are now is pretty crucial. If you kind of want this area to hold, I want it to turn around from here and go back up and break above that high. And that would be significant. What you can see here is a definite bullish divergence. Nice equal low, bullish, looks good, but I needed to go up from here. So this is a really important thing. We need to see a bullish finish today, and Monday we need to see a break of the high. Then we're probably going to go back up to these highs, and then we're going to probably start getting more bullish. And a last look at the dollar index. Yeah, and a daily. There's your daily. So it's a swing, almost a swing high. You need to see it happen. CAD yen. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to, don't want to keep you guys here forever. CAD yen. It's looking bullish, but too much resistance here and too much resistance here. So it's losing steam. Look at this. Here's a very clear sign. Look at the higher highs here and look at the MACDs just started trending low. So I would not be buying this now. I'd be waiting for a bearish weekly candle to set up, but I wouldn't be buying. It's too dangerous. Cool. Guys, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy these. If you want me to do stuff, email me and I'll do it. You know that. Yeah, I thank you guys. We'll see you. I'm doing on. Let me just see here quickly. I am speaking at a webinar thing. You guys can jump in on if you want for free. I think it is. It's the 18th. So no, that's 2 weeks time. I'll be on a webinar for IX Media for Simon Campbell for Trader. What's it? Round the Clock Trader. If you guys want, I'll post it on my YouTube channel, and you guys can get and on LinkedIn and things, so you can come join for free. Cool. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend. Go out and enjoy yourselves, and I will. And I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll let you go. Cool. You too. Have a good one.